Welcome back to Sears Point Raceway. This is the round number 2 of the Autolite Nationals. And the crowd on hand cheering for nitro-burning funny cars. Dean Scusa stretching his burnout down track to well past the halfway point. Crowd far down the track loves to see it because Scusa's the only guy that comes that far down. His opponent, the #1 qualifier, Winston. Here are the pairings for round number 2 racing. We find Winston up against Dean Scusa. They've won their first round matches. You see who was the loser. Tony Pedregon defeated Dale Creasy, while Del Worsham advanced at the expense of Scotty Cannon. In the other half of the ladder, that Beal Force race, Beal actually was the winner, but he's not going to be able to make this round number 2. Frank Pedregon gets the bye. It'll be Corey Lee against Jerry Tolliver.
Alan.
Let's go down to the far end of the racetrack. Here's Alan Reinhardt.
Well, Bob, all the other players in the points are thanking you, and you don't care.
No, I don't care about them. We're just out here for the whole Jersey's Active Wear team. You know, Ray Alley, Johnny West, their job is to get this car down the track, and that's we're out here to win races, not to make friends.
He's in the top 10 and closing the gap.
Motivated indeed to win his first ever national event title. Probably his biggest win, certainly biggest payday, came at that Winston Noble showdown when he picked up 50 grand as the runner-up to John Force in the funny car versus top fuel dragster battle.
Right now, this is on board with Whit Bazemore. This car's running so good, #1 qualifier, but Scusa, he could leave on Whit. We saw Whit was a little late first round.
Oh, great match. And I tell you, Whit is driving a really fast car this weekend. 502 at 298 miles an hour, and he pulled it out in just the last couple of hundred feet at best. Here on the replay.
Tell you, this is impressive. When you saw all the top fuel dragsters smoking the tires, both these funny cars to stay hooked, they don't have the downforce the dragsters do. This was a great side-by-side race.
Right there in the last couple of hundred feet, Whit Bazemore drove away from Dean Scusa. You're riding with him. Both hands on the wheel. And he hits the parachute and grabs the brake as Whit Bazemore goes into the semifinal round. Let's go down now into the pit area. Here's Bill Stevens.
Well, let's reflect on the weekend that Jim Head has had so far. Well, first round, he took care of Eddie Hill. And in the second round, defending Winston champ Gary Scelzi. Nothing broken in the car, unlike yesterday. Crew chief Johnny Davis says they think we'll have enough for Tony Schumacher in the semifinal. Go back to Alan.
Whit Bazemore, 2 down, 2 to go.
Tell you what, 502, that's incredible. The performance that this Kendall team is giving me, and this car, it's incredible. You know, Scusa, he is a good driver, and we had to be ready for him. He's a killer on the tree, but it's great for this team, you know. It's just unbelievable, the summer swing that we're having, you know, going to the semis again. It's really great.
They're loving that brand new Camaro.
I would hope so. The downforce obviously paying off for him. You saw in that last half of the racetrack. Got a big jump over Scusa, who had actually the advantage of the starting line. Now we've got Jerry Tolliver up against Corey Lee.
Yeah, this will be a good race. 508 to a 510 in the first round. Only 200 separates this car. Corey Lee's hoping just to back up the 510. If he does, Tolliver might smoke the tires.
Final check of the race car by the crewmen. Now it's all up to the driver. The tune-up built in. Nothing the driver can do at this point to change it. Oh, maybe grab the brake handle a little bit. Well, that's it.
Slows the tires, keeps the speed down. And you know what? It works. Sometimes it'll keep them hooked.
Somewhere along the way, somebody had some problems, and it was Jerry Tolliver. Corey Lee, 506, and look at the speed numbers. 304 miles an hour. Corey is definitely contending this race as Tom Hoover's ride gave him everything he wanted. Look at Tolliver. He was a little bit late off the starting line, then instantly smoked the tires.
He was a lot late off the starting line, and he didn't actually catch it when it went up in smoke either. I just think he was having a bad day, a bad round, and Corey Lee was perfect.
So Corey Lee going into the semifinal round, certainly considered to be one of the favorites at a 5:06. We're coming right back. Welcome back to Sonoma, California. This is Sears Point Raceway in the Autolite Nationals. Funny car round number 2. Tony Pedregon against Del Worsham. If you like Winston Cup action, let me recommend you tune in next Sunday. That's right, at 12:30 Eastern Time, it is Frontier at the Glen. Winston Cup racing at Watkins Glen International Raceway. Be tuned, won't you? 12:30 Eastern Time. If you want more, log on to ESPN.com. Part of the Go Network, go.com. Let's go down to Alan Reinhart and Corey Lee.
Corey, if you're an honest man, you'll admit that yesterday at this time you were afraid you'd be home watching this show.
I was having a tough weekend, but I told you we were going to work it out, and we did. This baby was cruising and bruising just like those Pioneer stereos that we advertised for. And, you know, it was a good run. A lot of good people are helping us. Champion Spark Plug, Centers in Oil, Comp Cams. Those kind of people are really helping.
A 304-mile-an-hour Pioneer stereo, to be exact.
So Tony Pedregon and Del Worsham. Remember, Worsham still riding that hot streak of his win just a week ago up in Seattle.
And the race before that, Tony was the winner, so this is going to be a great side-by-side race. Dell's been consistent. If he's consistent now, that's good, but I think he's hoping Tony makes a mistake. He's got Coyle and he's got Bernie over there because Forrest went out first round.
He also had a 5:07, a string of 3 5:0s to Tony Pedregon's credit. Dale Worsham gave it everything he could, but it just wasn't quite enough. Tony Pedregon had a 5:11 at 287. Del Worsham ran 5:20 on that run at 286, backed off about 500 from his qualifying time and a little bit slower than the previous round.
Boy, you see that cylinder out on the side of Tony's car from about 200 feet on. He's lucky that cylinder went out. He may not have stayed hooked up.
Well, the luck was not with Del Worsham because he had a shot at $100,000, but it ended right there. When Tony Pedregon crossed the finish line ahead of him, Del's opportunity to win that Winston No Bull Showdown money, or challenge money rather, of $100,000 went down the drain. And a tough break for Del. He could have used the money, but more importantly, he wanted the win because it would have put him in the semifinals.
Yeah, 2 races in a row, you know, to go to the semis, and after the win, it was wonderful. But, you know, they're happy. They know they got another race coming, and hopefully they'll go further.
If it's not bad enough that you got John Medlin and the very talented team on that Syntec Mustang, when the boss, John Force, went out of competition in the first round as a result of getting beat by Chuck Beal, well, now you got everybody over there working on the car. Talk about a brain trust. Let's go down to the far end. Tony's with Allen.
Tony's just taking his helmet off, and this is getting interesting because Whit has been making a move on you in the points, and now you've got to face him in the next round.
Oh, we can't worry about Whit a whole lot right now, but Castro ain't dead yet. John might be out, and he gave me the torch, and we run 11. It had a cylinder out, and I had the wheel cranked all the way, and I knew it, but I wasn't about to let him come smoking by me. So whatever it takes to get to the next round, we got something for Whit. We're going to hop this thing up.
Whit will have lane choice. Don't forget that.
Talk a moment about those drop cylinders. He says he got the wheel cranked all the way over. Is it the pressure differential? When you lose the cylinder, you lose that much downforce and thrust coming out of the header pipe?
And the other side that maybe has forelet, hopefully, will push you that way. I mean, it's amazing. You saw Forrest in the first round really have to handle that car. He did a great job. I mean, you really got to manhandle a funny car, unlike a dragster where it's more finesse. A funny car's a manhandle.
Here's the guy that got the break, as it is Frank Pedregon getting a single run. His opponent was to have been Chuck Beal, but that incident in round number 1 put Beal out of competition, and that was a dramatic, one of those really scary moments that could have ended up a whole lot worse. Beal exploding the engine and blowing the body off of the car in round number 1. In fact, when he did that, it took out the left front tire. And Beal was basically out of control of the car. It crossed over into John Force's lane. John ran up behind him, actually got into the back of Beal's car, but both of them were able to bring him to a stop up alongside the guardrail, and both drivers A-OK, but Beal unable to repair. So Frank Pedregon driving for Big Jim Dunn. You see him manning the escape hatch, gets the single here in round number 2.